Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to request for a statement. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of county-wide concern on the ongoing strike by doctors employed by the county government of Kiambu, which commenced on 27 May 2025, following a 21-day strike notice issued on 5 May 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, the prolonged strike, which is on its 71st day today, has resulted in the disruption of critical health services across Kiambu County. The Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, has called for the closure of several health facilities in Kiambu County, including 3 Level 5 hospitals and 10 Level 4 hospitals, citing unsafe conditions due to the absence of senior doctors. Medical interns stationed in the facilities are unable to keep the hospital running. They actually refuse to report. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following. 1, the issues that have led to the prolonged strike by doctors in Kiambu County, including the reasons for the county government's failure to implement the return to work formula agreed upon on 8 May 2024, despite a court directive granting 90 days for full compliance. 2, the measures in place by the county government of Kiambu to engage striking doctors and any efforts to resolve the stalemate in a manner that protects patients and upholds labor rights. 3, the extent of disruption to healthcare service delivery across Kiambu County, including the number of hospitals affected and the impact on the patient's safety and access to essential services. And 4, the emergency or interim measures taken by the Ministry of Health, if any, to support the county and safeguard public health during the ongoing industrial action. Mr. Speaker, I request.
Fellow Senator Tabitha Keroche.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53.1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of a county-wide concern on the failure of the Social Health Authority program to function effectively in Nakuru County. Mr. Speaker, sir, residents of Nakuru County have expressed deep concern over the perceived failure of SHA program. The failure stems not from weaknesses in the national health financing policy, but from the deteriorating state of public health infrastructure in the county. Public hospitals in Nakuru are facing severe shortages of essential medicines and critical diagnostic equipment such as CT scan, MRI, and X-ray machines, many of which are either missing or non-functional. Consequently, patients enrolled under SHA program are unable to access the care they are entitled to. This has led to misplaced public outreach against the national government, despite SHA program being successfully implemented in other counties where healthcare facilities are adequately resourced. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the reasons for the failure by the Nakuru County government to ensure the availability of essential medicines and supplies in public hospitals, the status of key diagnostic equipment, especially CT scan, MRI, and X-ray machines across public hospitals in Nakuru County, The interventions being undertaken by the Ministry of Health and SHA to promote equitable implementation of SHA program across all counties. The accountability measures in place for county governments that undermine the effective implementation of national health policies such as SHA. If the Nakuru County government does not equip our public hospitals in Nakuru with the medicines, diagnostic machines such as CT scan, MRI, X-rays, where 90% of Nakuru residents seek for their medical services, let it be known that such SHA has no use, and yet majority of Nakuru residents have registered. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Very well. Senator Christo Asige.
Thank you so much, Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Labour and Social Welfare on Kenya's participation in the 25th Summer Deaf Olympics this November in Tokyo, with specific concern over alleged mismanagement in its planning and execution. In the statement, the committee should point the funding mechanisms and strategic plans that have been established to ensure the full preparation, participation, and welfare of all qualified deaf athletes and teams for the 25th Summer Deaf Olympics, scheduled to take place in Tokyo this November 2025. Explain the reasons for the failure to adequately fund deaf sports over the past 2 financial years and indicate the corrective measures currently being undertaken for the same. Outline the steps that have been taken to ensure the fair inclusion of all 12 sporting disciplines in the planning, training, funding, and team selection processes, including in the formation of the National Organizing Committee. State the safeguards that have been adopted to promote inclusive and transparent decision-making in the governance of deaf sports. 5, investigate the actions that have been taken, if any, in response to the reported misappropriation of over 10 million shillings allocated for the Deaf World Championships, and matters said to have led to Kenya's suspension by the International Committee of Sports for the Deaf, and significantly disrupted deaf sports for the better part of 2 years now. 6, point why individuals previously implicated in the above financial misconduct continue to be involved in the current Deaf Olympics preparations, and outline the oversight mechanisms in place to prevent further misuse of public funds. Lastly, state the legal or institutional safeguards, including independent oversight mechanisms that have been put in place to ensure the transparent and accountable management of funds allocated to deaf sports in the country. I thank you.
Senator William Kisa. Before you get prepared, we can have Senator Fatuma Nduro. Senator Kisang, are you ready now? Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the contracting of the Institute of Human Resource Management, HRM, to undertake a human resource audit in Elgeyo Marakwet County. Honorable Speaker, in 2023, the County Executive of Elgeyo Marakwet County contracted the Institute of Human Resource Management to undertake a comprehensive audit of its staff establishment and human resource management processes. This decision by the county executive sparked public concern over the legality of the process through which HRM was awarded the contract. Nonetheless, the audit was conducted. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the rationale for the decision by the Elgeyo-Marakwet County Executive Committee to contract IHRM to undertake the human resource audit when the same could have been done by Elgeyo-Marakwet County Public Service Board. Second, the justification and legal basis for the decision by the Elgeyo-Marakwet County Executive Committee to direct the County Public Service Management Department to contract IHRM through direct procurement, and whether it was procedurally and legally permissible for IHRM to subcontract the audit service to a private firm, URMS. The reasons for the payment of the full contracted sum of Kenya shillings 5 million to IHRM, despite the failure by the audit firm to fulfill all the deliverables in terms of the terms of reference. Finally, Honorable Speaker, the actions being taken by the county executive to address the...
I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well.
Systems 8 recommend comprehensive assembly documents and establish whether they...
Matiang, just give your own sister time to read the statement first.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-126 statement by the from the Senate Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights regarding the investigation by the DCI into the forging of county assembly documents that may be used to facilitate illegal processes, including the alleged involvement of the clerk of the county assembly, as well as the fraudulent appointment of Mr. Abdullahi Banticha as the Speaker of Isiolo County Assembly. In the statement, the committee should establish the current status of the investigation conducted by the Directorate of Criminal Investigation into the alleged forging of county assembly documents and determine what evidence has been collected to date. Number 2, investigate the extent of the clerk of the county assembly's involvement in the alleged forgery of official county assembly documents and establish whether there is credible evidence linking the clerk to the fraudulent activities. 3, determine the nature and scope of the forged documents, including their intended use in facilitating illegal process within the county government operations. 4, inquire into adequacy of security measures and documents authentication protocols within the county assembly to prevent unauthorized alteration or correction of official documents. 5, establish what disciplinary or legal action has been taken against the clerk of the county assembly and other implicated parties and explain any delay in prosecution or administration action. 6, determine the potential impact of these forged documents on the integrity of the county assembly's proceeding, legislative processes, and public trust in county governance. 7, assess whether these incidents represent a systemic problem within the county assembly's document management and oversight systems. 8, recommend comprehensive measures to strengthen document security, enhance oversight mechanisms, and prevent similar incidents of documents forgery within the county assemblies, including prosecution of those found culpable. 9, investigate the determination and determine the circumstances that led to the fraudulent appointment of Mr. Abdullahi Banticha as the Speaker of the Isiolo County. 10, establish and determine the culpability of Abdullahi Banticha in perpetuating the constitutional crisis by unlawful continuing to exercise the function of the Speaker after his formal degazettement on 14 July 2025, and recommend appropriate legal and disciplinary action against him for the unlawful usurpation of public office. Finally, investigate and determine the constitutional validity and legal status of the Isiolo County budget purportedly approved by Mr. Banticha on the 17th July 2025 during the illegitimate assembly sitting, and establish whether such fraudulent budget approval constitutes criminal conduct, including theft of public resources and abuse of office. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Now, Senator Izena, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to request a statement on the resolution of historical land injustices in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Land, Environment and Natural Resources on a matter of national concern regarding the resolution of historical land injustices in Kenya, particularly in the marginalized regions. Mr. Speaker, sir, while the National Land Commission was mandated to investigate and recommend appropriate redress for historical land injustices, many affected communities, especially those in marginalized areas, continue to wait for justice decades after displacement, dispossession, or denial of access to ancestral lands. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the total number and current status of all claims of historical land injustices handled by the National Land Commission since its inception. Secondly, the proactive measures, if any, undertaken by the National Land Commission to identify and document cases of historical land injustices beyond formal complaints, particularly in communities with limited access to legal redress mechanisms. Third, the frameworks in place to ensure prompt, transparent, and fair resolution of historical land injustice claims, including recommendations to strengthen them. Senator Izena Lemalitian, dated 7th of August 2025. On my second statement, Mr. Speaker, I rise to request a statement on the distribution of national government development projects across counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on a matter of national concern regarding the distribution of national government projects across all counties. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the criteria used by the national government to distribute development projects across the counties, as well as the measures in place to ensure that the distribution is equitable. Secondly, the total national government development projects currently being implemented in each county, along with those planned for implementation in the medium term. Third, the measures in place to ensure the long-term sustainability of the projects implemented, particularly in the marginalized areas, including where the local communities are engaged in project identification and execution. Senator Izena Lemalitian, dated 6th of August 2025. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Senator Godfrey Ososi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on the matter of county-wide concern regarding the expenditure of equitable shareable revenue and county government additional allocation of revenue allocated to Vihiga County. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the financial year 2025-2026, Vihiga County is set to receive an additional 716,709,143 Kenya shillings following the enactment of the County Government Additional Allocation of the Revenue Act, as well as an increase of Kenya shillings 551,534,838 in equitable share of revenue following the new revenue sharing formula that this House passed. It is noted, however, that the county